There it goes. All right. So today is the last lesson before winter break. So it's the last lesson of semester 1. Isn't that awesome? We have been working on this little like mini unit that we call constructions. Hopefully you did the play pause it on Monday, because that has a bunch of the constructions that you're going to be responsible for. In the PowerPoint, on each construction is a link to the virtual tools and a link to the Math Open Ref animation. I think that if you can do the steps to each construction, you can answer any question about it, because the only way to really practice the constructions is to do them, right? You can answer just about any question I can throw at you if you can do the steps. The questions would be like, what construction do you see in the picture? And you would have to like choose from a multiple choice. I see a perpendicular bisector, or I see an angle bisector, or whatever. You would have to be able to identify the construction that you see. Another type of question could be, here's some steps, put them in order. So if you know the steps on each construction, you'd easily be able to put them in order. Or maybe the question would say, what is the next step? Here's some steps. What is the next step? Okay. That's pretty much what the questions can ask. Maybe it would ask you a little bit more like, if you had an angle bisector, which one is half of the original? You would have to be able to identify that. Or if I showed you the construction of a square, you'd have to be able to tell me the 4 sides that are congruent. Okay, but if you can do the steps, then you can answer just about any question that I can throw at you about constructions. So what we're going to do today is we are going to finish out the constructions unit with showing you the equilateral triangle, the square, and the regular hexagon. If you haven't done the play pause it yet, there's still time. It's still open to you, still available to you. There is no exit ticket for Monday, and there won't be an exit ticket for today. However, there is still an attendance quiz, so make sure that you're on your toes and listening for that attendance word. All right, so we're going to be using the construction tools, the same ones that we were using on Monday. Yeah, it is really interesting, isn't it, Sarah? It's totally different. If you find constructions are challenging, I wouldn't be surprised, because it's something completely new. No one has ever handed you a compass or a virtual compass and said, hey, go draw a picture with this for math, right? It's new and it's different. And so if you need to practice it more, that's okay. I will be the first to admit that constructions was the hardest part of geometry for me when I was a student. And I didn't like that because, well, if you know me by now, you know that I love math, and it really bothered me that something was really challenging. It was the first time that something really got hard. So if you're finding it challenging, that's okay. It just means you practice it more. And that's what I did. I sat down with the compass and I practiced it over and over and over again. And I even dropped the thing on my foot. I have a scar, so I hope you don't do that. Don't drop the compass on your foot and give yourself a scar. That was back when the compasses were sharp. I'm showing my age. But if you find it challenging, that's okay. And you can practice it as many times as you need to. I'm going to give you all the tools that you need so that you know the steps and you can continue to practice them. All right. So with that being said, this is different. I'm going to have to teach this class slightly differently than I've taught any of the other classes, where I'm going to be sharing my screen more than using New Grow tools. So if it looks like I'm not looking at you, it's because I am splitting my screen so I can show you the tools. All right. If you can't find the link to the virtual tools, just let me know and I can pop you the link into the chat. But I am going to share my screen with you so you can see the tools. Okay, I'm using the virtual tools, clearly, because that's what you see is my screen. If you're using the handheld tools that K-12 sent you, or maybe you have your own tools, that's perfectly fine. Just when I say lock the compass, I mean don't let the sides of it move. Okay. And if you are using the handheld tools, I recommend, and this is from trial and error on my part, try moving the paper instead of the compass. That might make it easier to make the marks. Okay, so the first construction for today is construct an equilateral triangle. On a piece of paper, if I were to hand you a piece of paper, it would already have a length on it. But on the virtual tools, unfortunately, I can't do that. So give yourself a length. So use your straight line and give yourself a length. This is going to be the length of each side of my equilateral triangle. Yep, absolutely, Caleb. Here, all right. Link people, here it comes. Here we go. Before I keep going, anyone else need the link? Here you are. Oh, there you are, Nika. All right. Yep. Absolutely. Happy to help. All right. And if you need this link in the future, maybe bookmark it, or you can go to the PowerPoint and click on the link there, or to the geometry toolbox on OMHS. Cool. All right. Back to where we were. We're going to construct an equilateral triangle. You are going to give yourself a line segment. This will be the length of the side of our equilateral triangle. Then what you're going to do is you're going to give yourself a point. Any old point, just pick a point out here. I'm going to refer to this as the blue point. You're going to open up your compass, the length of the segment you gave yourself. Okay. You might have to get a little creative with how that compass is on your screen. Okay, so right now I have the point of my compass on an endpoint and the pencil point on the other endpoint, and I'm going to lock my compass. What I have now done is I have captured the length of the blue line between the endpoint of my compass and the point of my pencil. No matter where I put this compass, that distance between the points is the exact same distance of this blue segment. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that compass, put the point on the blue point that we gave ourselves, and we're going to make an arc here and here. And if you're having a hard time doing that, just give yourself one whole big arc. That's fine. Every single point on my blue arc is the same distance to this blue point as is the length of this segment. So then you're going to pick any point you want on that arc, any old point you want. I'm going to pick, let's see, I'll give it a different color. So we call it the red point. I'm going to pick this point. You could have picked any point you wanted on there. So the distance from my blue point to my red point is the length of this segment. I'm going to take my compass, put the point on my red intersection here, my red point, and create an intersection with my compass. So the distance between the red point and my now green point is the length of my original blue segment. So the distance between the blue and the green is this length. The distance between the red and the green is this length. And the distance between the red and the blue is still this length. So if I connect these 3 points, these are all the same length, meaning I now have an equilateral triangle. Well, I'm glad that you are able to get back in, Sarah. If I lock the door, I will continue to look for you. All right, questions on the construction? I would like you to practice this one. So hopefully you have these tools open up somewhere. Maybe you've split your screen so you can see me and you have the tools on the other side. If you're not sure how to split your screen, it's really cool. You want to hit your Windows button and then your left arrow, and that'll force my window to be on the left side of your screen. And then if you click the tab for the virtual tools, Windows button right arrow, that'll shove that to the right side, and now you've got a split screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share the Math Open Ref, what do I want to call this? Animation. I'm going to let this run over and over. So if you need some help, you're welcome to watch the animation. And I'd like you to try it. So in your tools, in your virtual tools there, I'd like you to try this construction. Give yourself a segment and go through the steps. I'm going to mute myself. And in about 4 minutes, we will move on to the next one. So go ahead and try this. All right, I'm going to run it one more time and then we'll move on to the next one. All right, so hopefully that practice helped. If you need more practice, you are welcome to practice this as many times as you want. And on the virtual tools, you're not even wasting any paper or anything. I was using a lot of paper and practicing it over and over. Here you can just click clear and try again. All right, the next example is creating a square. So we're going to construct a square. If we were in brick and mortar, or I could hand you a piece of paper, your paper would already have a length on it. However, I can't do that with the virtual tools. So go ahead and give yourself a length, and we're going to give it some endpoints. I'm going to name those endpoints A and B, just so I have something I can reference. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to construct a square so that the sides will be out here and we'll have a nice pretty square. We haven't done a whole lot of square stuff in geometry yet, but at some point in your math history, you should have learned that squares have 4 equal sides and 4 90-degree angles. Hopefully that's not a new idea. Ooh, really good question just came into the chat. If you find yourself measuring, so you find yourself taking your ruler and you measure the length, and then you want to like use your ruler to like put a perpendicular line here. Instead of using the compass and straight edge, you're doing it wrong. You got to follow the steps. You should not be measuring anything. It's a really good question, but don't measure it, because the questions on an SOL, the questions on your test, are all designed so that you can't do that. Like on an SOL, the question will say like, which point is on the perpendicular bisector? You would have to use the compass tool to construct that perpendicular bisector to answer the question. Yeah, so don't be measuring anything. If you find yourself looking at the numbers on the ruler and measuring it, you're doing it wrong. Don't use the numbers on the ruler. I wish they would actually send you a straight edge that had no numbers on it. That would be really nice. Good question. Thank you for asking me that. All right, so what we're going to do to make our square is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to extend this line out to here. So take your straight edge or your line and extend it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend or treat this point B as if it's the midpoint of a segment. So we're going to take our compass and open it up. As long as it's between A and B, you're good. So I'm going to leave it right here. And you're going to make endpoint here and over here. So these 2 points now we can treat as like the endpoints of a segment, and B is the midpoint. So we're going to follow the steps of perpendicular bisector, because if it's a square, that means that this side makes a 90-degree angle. And anytime we have 2 lines intersecting at a 90-degree angle, well, we call those perpendicular. So the steps from your perpendicular bisector said to take the point of your compass, put it on the end point of your segment, and you need to have your compass opened up so that it's more than half. So you're going to have to unlock your compass and open your compass up anywhere between the point and the other end point. So anywhere in here, this looks good. You're going to make an intersection or an arc at the top, and then you're going to bring the point of your compass to the other side there and make an intersection. All right, got a little long. That's okay. If you're using the handheld tools, you want to make sure you pinch it really tight. Don't let it move, because you need the distance from this point to that intersection to be the same as this point to the intersection. Okay, then if you take your straight edge, you can connect point B to that intersection, and now we have a perpendicular line. Okay, so perpendicular, that's really awesome. Now this is a 90-degree angle. All right, now we just need the lengths of each side here to be the same as AB. So I'm going to go back and set my compass so that the point in the pencil are the length of AB. And I'm going to lock it. So now the point of my compass to the pencil of my compass is the length of AB. I'm going to come up. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Okay, good. You're going to bring the compass up here and make an intersection on your perpendicular line. And it's not going to be the same point as your blue intersection there. It's going to be a different point. Maybe you want to put a mark there. So this will be the corner of the square, not this intersection here, but this point right here. And then bring your compass, same setting, don't let it move. Put your point on point A and make it an arc. So now the distance from A to that green arc is the length of AB. You're going to take the point of your compass to this point that you made over here, the green point. Oh, hold on. There we go. Put your point there, and then, come on. Here we go. You're going to make an arc that intersects. Okay. So now I have 4 green points. I'm going to connect them with my straight edge. Oops, let me get you out of the way. And now I have a square. And each side of that square is the length of AB. All right, so if you're using the virtual tools to make the pencil make a mark, you have to click on the top of the compass. See, when I put my mouse over it, it becomes spinny circles. When that spinny circles is showing, that's when it'll make the mark. And it even actually creates a point for you here too. All right, this one's complicated. It's got a lot of steps. You have to create your perpendicular bisector, and then you have to use the length of AB to create the sides of your square. This is definitely one that's worth practicing for sure. So I'm going to let the animation run for you. It's following the same steps that I just did, but you definitely should practice this one. If you would like me to kind of narrate the animation, I'm happy to do that for you. If you want me to do the construction again, I'm happy to do that for you. But I am going to let the animation run, and if you need help, you let me know so we can make sure that you get all the steps. Let's do like 5 minutes on this one. We'll do 5 minutes to practice this. And if you need anything from me, just type it in the chat and I will help you out. All right, I'm gonna let the animation run one more time, and then we're gonna move on to the last one, which is my favorite. All right, we have one more construction to do. Hopefully you were able to practice that and get a square on your tools or on your paper. The last one we're going to do is we're going to construct a hexagon. And we're going to use the hexagon in a circle method because I think it's the easiest, and honestly I think it's a lot of fun too. So let's construct a hexagon, and what you're going to do is give yourself a point. And just pick a point anywhere. And you're going to make yourself a circle. I like making circles with this tool. I think it's fun. All right, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to use the compass setting. I have it locked. It's this distance from the center of the circle to a point on the circle. And you're going to pick a point on your circle. Here we go, just any old point. And you're going to take that compass, put the point on the point you picked on the circle, and you're going to make intersections that intersect the circle. So I have my point on the circle. The compass is locked as the distance or the radius of the circle. I'm going to make an intersection. And now I'm going to take my compass and I'm going to put the point on my new intersection and make another intersection. Take the point to my new intersection and make a new one. And just keep going all the way around the circle. So every time I make a new intersection, I move the point of my compass to that new intersection and I make a new arc until I get to the point that I started at. And now I have 6 intersections that are all the same distance from each other. So I can take my straight edge and just connect those 6 points. And I now have a nice, pretty hexagon. If I wanted to create an equilateral triangle, I could just connect every other point. And now I have an equilateral triangle. That's pretty fun. That wasn't the goal for this construction, but I could do it. So again, I made a circle. I picked a point on that circle, and I continued to make new intersections around my circle using the length of the radius. I made 6 intersections the whole way around, and I connected those 6 intersections for a nice, pretty hexagon. All right, hopefully you're still doing this with me on your screen. And I'm going to give you a chance to practice it. So again, I'm going to put the animation up there so you can see what's going on and you can practice it on your tools. So this one's not as long. Let's do like 3 minutes on this one. All right, so as you figured out, this unit is totally different than any unit that we've done, and it's kind of different than any unit that we're going to do, because this is a doing unit. It's not a write an equation, solve it. It's not a look at the picture and find the value of something. It is an actual like doing hands-on, and it's different. So it does take some practice. Today we constructed an equilateral triangle, a square, and a hexagon. And we did all of that using a compass and a straight edge, not measuring anything, not eyeballing it or using a protractor, but just a compass and a straight line. We were able to construct those things. Today's attendance word is compass. Make sure you write that down. Today's attendance word is compass. Got to spell it right. Capitalization doesn't matter, but you have to spell compass on your attendance quiz word. All right, write that down or go do it right now. Compass. All right, so with the play pause it on Monday and today's lesson, you have everything you need to be successful on the quiz. There is no exit ticket for Monday and there's no exit ticket for today. So if you printed this out and it says like exit ticket, you can go ahead and there's no exit ticket. Okay. What there is a quiz. Okay, so there's a quiz on constructions. If you can do the steps of the constructions, you can answer every question on the quiz. Okay, so practice each construction. There were 7 of them on Monday and 3 of them today. A lot of them include the same ideas. So like constructing your parallel line required you to be able to copy an angle. So they went together. Or constructing your square, you needed to be able to construct a perpendicular line. So they go together. So even though it feels like a lot of constructions, some of them have other constructions embedded in them. So it's not as crazy as it sounds. If you need help with the constructions, you're welcome to reach out to me. However, I'm probably going to tell you that the best way to get to know the constructions is just to keep practicing the steps. There's a link on each page on the OMHS notes to each of these animations that I showed you. And if you can't find it, let me know. I can send you the PowerPoint with the links in it. And if you need help finding the virtual tools, you're welcome to reach out for me on that. Reach out to me for help on that too. Remember that everything closes on Friday. Everything closes at 11:59 p.m. Friday. Tests, quizzes, exit tickets, attendance quizzes, everything. So you need to make sure you have everything completed by then. And OMHS should be fixed. I know yesterday it was really wonky, right? But I've been told that it's fixed. If you're having trouble accessing something, please let me know. And we can work with you on that. Other than that, we've completed everything for the semester. So that's pretty cool. There will be a midterm, or some people are calling it a semester exam, that'll happen next week. So you want to make sure that you are prepared for that. The best way to study for that is to go back and do the reviews for each unit. Units 1 through 5 are going to be on there. It's pretty heavy on quarter 2 stuff. So like units 3 through 5, but there will be a few questions on there from units 1 and 2. So you want to make sure that you are prepared for the whole thing. If you have an A in the course and you're not missing any work, you'd have both of those. You have A in the course and you're not missing any assignments, you will get an email from me Monday morning that says you're exempt from the midterm. So look for an email Monday morning that will tell you if you are exempt or if you need to take the midterm. Okay. If you're not sure, you're welcome to look at the gradebook tab on OMHS and just look through all your grades. Anything with a Q1 in front of it, I can't reopen because quarter 1 is closed, but anything with a Q2 in front of it should still be open unless it's an attendance quiz. Okay. All right, and that's all I have for you today. Nice and short, huh? I would really like it if you used this last 20 minutes to practice those constructions. Make sure you can find the animations, make sure you can find the virtual tools, and just practice them. If you have questions, you're welcome to hang out and ask me. I can go over any of the ones that we did today or any of the ones from the play pause it on Monday. Other than that, that's all I have, and you are free to go if you need to. I would love to do this square again. Yep. All right. 1 second. Are there any worksheets we can print out to practice with? Yes. So if you are looking for some practice, now you would need a handheld tool for the practice that's there. But in the constructions folder, there's something that says like constructions practice. You're welcome to print that out and you could use the handheld tools with it. Or you could look at what the problem is on the paper and kind of set it up yourself on your virtual tools and do it that way. Yeah, good question. All right, so the question is, can I do the square again? I would love to do the square again. Let me share my tools with you here. All right. So to construct the square, give yourself a length for the side. There we go. And I'm going to name the endpoints A and B. You can name them whatever you want. You can name them X and Y or P and Q, whatever you wanted. All right. So the goal at the end is to have a square so that every side of the square is the length of AB. You're going to use your straight edge and extend this length out here. And we're going to pretend that B is the midpoint of a segment. I'm going to take my compass and give my segment some endpoints. This looks good. So put an arc here and over here. And this tool takes some getting used to, which is another good reason to practice. And then you're going to take the endpoint of your compass. Well, I should make sure that you're ready. Well, I don't want to go too fast here. Who asked me that? All right. Let me know when you're ready for the next. Oh, here we go. All right, cool. So then you're going to take your compass point, put it on one of those intersections there, and you're going to open your compass up so that it is at least half of this whole thing. So you could do the whole thing if you wanted, or anywhere between your blue point and your blue intersection. Open it up to anywhere in there. This looks good. And then you're going to take your compass and make an arc above. And you could make an arc below. I like to do the arc below. Not 100% necessary, but you could. You don't have to. I don't think that's actually in the animation. And then you're going to take your point and put it over here on the other intersection and make another arc. And you could make an arc below, just like we did in the perpendicular bisector construction. However, because we already have this point B, that bottom part is not really necessary. All right, and then you let me know when you're ready for the next step. Ready? Okay. Take your straight edge and connect point B to that intersection we just made. And I would make it like, don't end at the intersection, but go up a little bit. So now what you've done is this blue line that we just put in here is perpendicular to your red segment or the original segment. And you're welcome to like put a little 90-degree box in there if it helps you. You can, you don't have to. Tell me when you're ready. Oh, good, Leanne. I'm glad you found it. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your compass and I'm going to go green. Open it up the length of AB. So put your point on A and your pencil point on B and lock your compass. Then you're going to bring your point to B right here. And you're going to make an intersection. Oh, it's so close. It's not always going to be this close. It just happened to be that way for me. Hopefully it's a little not as close on your paper. Oh, I'm sorry, it's so close. So it's the intersection of the green arc and the blue line. Those two blue arcs are no longer relevant to us. Okay. So I'm sorry that they're so close. It just happened to be that way this time. Hopefully on your screen, they're not nearly as close. So it'll be like this point right here. And then you're going to take your point, put it on A and make the same sized arc there. Let me know when you're ready for the next step. Okay, I think that was that one. All right, so then you're going to put your point on your green intersection over here. And I'm sorry, they're so close, but it's the green arc and the blue line, that intersection. And you're going to make another arc that intersects your green arc over here. And now you have everything you need for your square. We'll do orange. You're just going to connect your intersections here, connect them down here with A and B, and now you've got this beautiful square. And every length of the square is the length of AB, and it has 4 90-degree angles. You're welcome. It takes practice. It really does. All right, anyone else want me to go over any of the constructions or any other constructions? Any of them constructions from Monday? Anything at all? Just let me know. All right, well, if there aren't any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end class, and you can take the last few minutes here to practice. And when you are ready and you feel confident with all the steps, you can take the constructions quiz. You just want to make sure you have that done by Friday. Email me if you have other questions. I'm happy to help. Have a great day, everyone.